How's it going, everybody? I am the Texas Man. I am sorry for the technical glitch that I just had in part 4 of the Island 2. Um, it wasn't supposed that video wasn't supposed to end that way. There's another like 3-4 pages. So I'm sorry, but this book's gonna have to get divided into 7 parts instead of 6. So I'm going to briefly back up just a little bit for you guys as we continue reading on. This is going to be part 5, and this will probably be a little shorter because I've only got a couple pages to read in this part, and then I will be moving on to the next part right afterwards. Um, Wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. The last video was part 5. This is going to be part 6, which is going to be shorter, and then right after this, I will be doing part 7. So I apologize. This is part 6. This is part 6. And then I will do part 7 for you guys immediately after that, and that will end the book. So I'm sorry for the confusion and for the part thing. Trying to keep it together. Just I had a technical glitch, and it ended up cutting my recording and audio out, and I actually continued to read on a couple pages, and thankfully I figured out that I wasn't actually recording, I was just reading out loud. So, alright, with that out of the way, let's get into it. This is part 6, and let's finish this up. So I'm going to be backing up a little bit into part 5 so you guys can understand where we are story-wise in the middle of this chapter. Here we go. The group continued onwards after their brief but dangerous encounter with the Komodo dragon, and walked for 2 more hours until they reached the second strip of hills. Once they reached the top of the hills, the team looked northwest to see, far in the distance, a submarine dock and a submarine. "We will rest here for the night and run for the submarine in the morning," said Jack. Suddenly the ground began to shake and move pebbles from above the group's position. "Tiffany, look out!" yelled Chris. Tiffany looked upwards to see a large boulder roll towards her like she was a pin at a bowling alley. Time slowed down very fast as everyone, especially Chris and Jack, watched the gigantic boulder the size of 10 basketballs put together roll closer towards Tiffany. The young lady put her arms in front of her face, making a Roman numeral 2, and braced for the end of her life. The boulder smashed very, very hard into Tiffany and rolled down the east side of the hills. Chris and Jack were the first ones to reach Tiffany's location, while everyone surrounded them on the outside of the crisis center. The boulder had torn through Tiffany's arms and had opened skin up so bad you could see her bones easily. Because the arms were not powerful enough to protect Tiffany's face, the boulder also left an enormous hole in the front of her head. "Is she okay?" asked Chris, seeing but not believing that the only person that loved him was dead. "Chris, she is dead, and in heaven," replied Jack. "No, you're lying. She can't be dead," yelled Chris. "Chris, she is gone," said Kate, hugging the crying young man. Everyone was in a gloomy state, with red skin and tears rolling out of their eyes. The entire team was miserable and angry that she was dead. "She won't even be able to enjoy having children someday," said Jack, thinking that there could have been some way he could have prevented this simple incident from occurring and saving her life. Jack even wanted to believe that he should have been the one that was hit by the boulder, and not the 18-year-old woman with a long life ahead of her. Chris was also in a great mourning state because he loved her and never got the chance to tell her about his feelings. The hope of all humans leaving the area had been destroyed by the simplest thing in nature, a rock. The group spent the night up in the hills with a small fire and planned to bury Tiffany Roberts' body before leaving for the submarine to honor her, since she was not eaten by some creature. In the morning, with only 3 days left until the sinking of the islands, the men dug a hole using the ends of their machine guns near the east side of the hills to place Tiffany's body inside and bury the beautiful creation of God underneath dirt. Hours later, Jack and Chris, with the help of Kate, brought Tiffany's body down from the hills and laid it in the hole. Jack began to talk about Tiffany's attributions, and a few moments later, after Mr. Woodson finished speaking, a mysterious bird landed on Tiffany's chest. "Hold your fire," said Chris to Jack, who was about to grab his nearby machine gun on the ground. "What is it?" asked Nick. "It is a phoenix," replied Kate. "What is a phoenix?" asked Nick. "A mythological bird with a lifespan of 500 to 1,000 years, a tail of gold, a crimson body, and healing powers," answered Kate. "My question is, what does it want from us, since I know it is not an evil creature?" said Jack. The phoenix walked on its 2 legs off of Tiffany's chest and onto her throat. Moments later the phoenix began crying tears on the hole in Tiffany's face and the torn skin on her arms. Suddenly new skin was made and sealed the wounds on the arms and the hole in the face. "Those tears must be what has the healing powers," said Kate. The phoenix flew near Chris's feet, and everyone watched Tiffany Roberts rise up out of the hole in the ground, with no scars or marks of any kind that revealed she was hit by a boulder. "Well, please tell me that you brought me out of heaven for a good reason," said Tiffany. Chris slid into the hole, which was large enough for the 2 of them to stand in, and prepared to express his feelings for Tiffany. "I thought I lost you forever, and I wanted to tell you something," said Chris. "What?" asked Tiffany. "I am madly in love with you, and have ever been since I met you at the crash site," said Chris, before kissing Tiffany in the lips for 10 seconds. Everyone clapped and cheered, yet Jack knew that the celebration would not last with the other obstacles that laid before them all. Alright guys, that's going to do it. I will get the last part out to you guys very soon to finish up this book. We've got 2 more chapters. Hope you guys will enjoy, and I will see you guys in the future video. Bye.